And we are back. Thank you guys for joining me. I hope you're all having an amazing day. I got kind of a bizarre video for you guys today. How do I get into it? So apparently Tim Pool is being accused of kidnapping or catnapping the cat Betsy. I don't know if you watch Timcast IRL, you'd see the cat get up on the tables and walk around the microphones and stuff right in the middle of the podcast, and Ian would always grab me. Oh, Betsy! I'm pretty sure that was Betsy. I think Ian used to call it Betsy, and then the cat's not there anymore. So I'm thinking, what the hell's going on here? Apparently, Tim's old business partners are accusing him of this, that, and a third. And I saw this article today pop up on my newsfeed on my cell phone. I started reading it, and it's really strange, really long. So we're gonna cover it. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. I'm gonna read you guys some of it. It's from the Daily Beast, and it's such a trash article just because it tries to make Tim look so bad. It's ridiculous. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. But anyway, it was talking about how his new business was failing or had failed or something. I'm thinking, new business failed. He just started that timcastirl.com where sounds like he's getting a shitload of subscribers on there. It sounds like everything's going pretty well. They got this huge mansion compound out in the country. I made a video about that last week, and I did not dox him. I got so many people in the comments hating on me saying, you doxed him. It was so easy to... Listen, it's on the interwebs. People have doxed him before. It's not hard. If you really care that much, you would about where his exact address is, you'd be able to find it without the video I made. So, and I like Tim Pool. I like his content. I wouldn't dox anybody, first of all, but somebody that I enjoy their content, why would I be a dick and be like, yeah, I didn't show his address, so relax, guys. I'll give you a tour of my house if you're interested. I don't think you will be. I'm going to give you my address. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. So, like I was saying, it looks like things are going really well with Tim Pool and the crew in their new mansion compound. Sounds like they're going to have a ton of events coming there. It sounds like his website where he's having memberships, people signing up for memberships, paying monthly. Sounds like they're really doing well. So I didn't know what this was talking about. Like, he started a business called Subverse. But then I remembered I saw a video a couple weeks ago from Tim from a few years ago that really confused me because he was talking about a company called Subverse. Check this out. Oh, and before I get into that, guys, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Leave me a thumbs up if you like my videos, and leave a comment. I say it every video, but my favorite thing about this channel, this community, about making these videos is the comments. There are some pretty hateful comments. There's going to be haters anything you do in life, but for the most part, like, you guys are amazing. You guys keep me motivated, and I'm super grateful for each and every one of you guys. So thank you. Thank you so much. So subscribe if you're not subscribed. And like I said, leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think. So I'm just going to play this quick video clip that kind of confused me a little.
Is focus on my content, but then find a way to turn it into something bigger with more people who are doing more work and doing different news and different stories and different kind of content. The goal for Subverse isn't going to be just news. We're going to do everything from gaming, media, entertainment, travel, etc. If you've seen the videos we've done so far, they're pretty boring, and that's on purpose. It's just straight news. Email us. pitch@subverse.net, pitch@subverse.net if you want to work with us. We're looking for producers, writers. We basically want everybody hosting content to whatever capacity you're able. We have something we can, work with you on. And we're actually looking to hire a fairly decent amount of people.
So I saw that video and I was confused. I'm like, Subverse? Like, what's that? That sounds pretty cool, but Tim doesn't mention that anymore. It's all about timcast.com signing up for his new website. So I saw this article, read it, and it all made sense. Subverse is an old company that they were trying to get launched off the ground. They had some investors, some backers. Tim had some other business partners. So listen, I don't want to make this a long, drawn-out video about Tim kidnapping a cat. So let's jump into the news article here from the Daily Beast. All right, so it says, YouTube start... All right, let me get my big, ugly melon out of the way so we can see the whole thing here. All right, so YouTube star Tim Pool's new site collapses amid allegations he took a cat hostage. What? So first of all, I'm like, his new site collapsed. He just started that. It's doing well. You think, what is going on? I was really confused. Um, it says Tim Pool's disgruntled ex-partners say he used a cat as a bargaining chip in an ugly business negotiation. Pool says he's innocent. All right, well, let's dive into it a little. Like I said, this is a long article. I'm not going to read the whole thing. We're going to skim through the important parts here. I'm fairly certain Tim didn't kidnap a cat. So I don't think he's gonna. I think he's innocent on those charges. But anyway, let's check this out. All is not well in the burgeoning media empire of YouTube political commentator Tim Pool. See, to me that's incorrect. All seems extremely well. They've got this huge, beautiful mansion out in the woods. They've got like I said, timcast.com's blowing up. They're doing great. He's got 3 channels, all almost a million subscribers. I don't understand. They seem like they're doing fine. Amid an acrimonious falling out over who controls the future of a digital news site that Pool helped launch, the YouTube star is facing accusations from former partners that he used a cat named Betsy as a hostage in business negotiations, only handing the pet over after police were called. He was trying to use my cat as leverage, said Emily Molly, Betsy's owner and a former Pool business partner. See, I don't even know who Emily Molly is. I've been following Tim Pool for probably, I don't know, the better part of a year, I would say. Maybe a little less, but I don't know who this Emily Molly is. I know that Tim and his brother had some issues as far as some business dealings go. And the only reason I know about that is Jeremy from The Quartering made a video about that a while ago, about Tim and his brother, who looks and sounds just like him. It's crazy. But I don't know who this Emily Molly is. But anyway, Pool says he never had custody of the cat. Well, the cat lived there with him because he used to crawl around on Ian's fucking lap. Pool says he never had custody of the cat, whose return to Molly was eventually arranged through an animal shelter and a Maryland sheriff's lieutenant. When he's not facing cat-related accusations, Pool is living the life of a YouTube star. His videos, based on Pool's background as a liberal reporter who became a Trump voter after feeling alienated from the modern left, have amassed more than 1.1 billion cumulative views. Yes, he's not struggling. He has $1 million mansion in the Maryland woods. Yeah, like I said, I did a video that I can clip it on the end of this one. Complete with a podcast. And for all you guys that are screaming that I doxed him and stuff, like this one says, the state that it's in, it's whatever. Whatever. Complete with a podcast studio and a skate park. It's actually got more than one podcast studio because Adam Cast does his podcast from there. So he's got his own studio too. Donald Trump invited him to the White House. Pool's business has boomed even as he faces accusations that he's a major vector for right-wing disinformation. See, that's so nonsensical. That's the most nonsensical statement that I've ever heard. You got people on the right that hate Tim Pool because, you know, he's whatever. Anyway, a vector for right-wing disinformation. The people that say that kind of stuff are people like Vosh. You listen to Vosh and Tim, you listen to Vosh, you listen to those far left, you know, communists and knuckleheads. They're the ones that say that stuff. Tim Pool's alt-right, spreading misinformation. Crazy. A recent report from a consortium of election integrity groups listed Pool alongside the likes of Donald Trump Jr. and pro-Trump lawyer Sidney Powell as a super spreader for false election information. See, that's such horseshit. It's so ridiculous. That doesn't appear to dissuade his more than 3 million YouTube subscribers who can pay $21.99 for a t-shirt bearing the image of Pool's trademark beanie. See, that's another thing. He's killing it with his merch, too. That I Am a Gorilla t-shirt he's got, things selling like hotcakes. The allegations that Pool used a cat as a bargaining chip in a business dispute go beyond the fate of Betsy, who is now back with Molly in Los Angeles. The fracas sheds new light on how Pool and his co-founders failed to launch a news site amid infighting despite more than $1 million in crowdfunded backing. This year was supposed to be the time that Pool's new company approached 50 staffers and opened satellite offices in Los Angeles and Chicago, according to a pitch deck shown to investors. Instead, Pool has wondered whether his site even exists anymore as a going concern. Listen, so what I think is this whole thing failed. Whatever happened, wasn't getting along with his business partners. Who knows? He decided to stick with what he wanted to do, buy this compound out in the woods, keep doing his podcast, bring a few other people on, start bringing some really good guests on, and just kind of build from there, build timcast.com with paid memberships and start having events hosted and concerts and things like that. And that sounds like it's doing amazing and is going to do amazing. This other thing with all these business partners and investors, it sounds like an absolute shit show. It sounds like a complete disaster. In May 2019, Pool, Molly, and a third co-founder launched Subverse. So that was the video that I was showing you guys when he was talking about Subverse, a news site, YouTube channel, news footage service. The site raised more than $1 million on crowdfunding platform WeFunder with a buzzword-heavy pitch that promised to create a decentralized news network boosted by Pool's massive social media following and background reporting on protest movements like Occupy Wall Street. So he's still doing that. He's just not doing it with Subverse. He's doing it with his own website, which is a very smart move. That's my opinion. Molly worked as Subverse's chief content officer, where she was billed as the queen of content. In May 2020, Pool brought in Rocco Castoro, a former vice editor-in-chief who once journeyed to Guatemala to meet with fugitive cybersecurity baron John McAfee to run the site's editorial and business operations. Subverse's name was changed to SCNR, pronounced scanner, for several reasons. There's a porn game called Subverse. You can't really compete with the porn SCNR. Okay, whatever. Let's see. Castro and Molly imbued Scanner with trash-talking pirate ethos of early Vice. In a November update, two Scanners backers, the pair promised to yank what you thought you knew straight out your nose like Tutankhamun's brain. They told backers unhappy with... All right, I don't care about any of this. In response to questions about why Pool appeared to have a diminished role in sight, Castro and Molly told Pool's fans to email their glorious leader. Say a little prayer, maybe he'll see it, they wrote. As she traveled the country last year with Castoro to produce videos for Scanner, Molly put her cat in the care of Ian Crossland. There, Ian enters the story. So Ian was the one in control of the little cat that he was always petting in the video. Jesus, Ian. Oh, Ian. All right. Crossland eventually joined a rotating cast of Pool associates living with him in the Maryland mansion that Pool had purchased in 2020, bringing the cat with him. All right. So Ian had the cat. He brought it with him when they moved to that house. All right. Tensions between Pool and his other partners flared this fall over who had access to various internal systems connected to Subverse. Castoro and Molly took the unusual step of investigating Pool themselves, with Castoro claiming he found evidence that Pool was involved in unsavory internet schemes. The Daily Beast was unable to independently confirm Castoro's allegations, and Pool declined to comment on all allegations made by Castoro and Molly that didn't relate to the cat, citing ongoing legal issues. That fall and winter, a number of far-right figures appeared at Pool's Maryland mansion to appear on his internet show as Donald Trump fought his election defeat. They included InfoWars conspiracy theorist Alex Jones, who helped funded the pro-Trump rally that preceded the January 6th riot, and Proud Boys chairman Enrique Tarrio. Tarrio is now facing charges for unlicensed possession of a gun magazine in Washington, D.C. See, instead of just saying Alex Jones and Enrique Tarrio, they got to throw in these jabs at him to try to make him look bad. It's just garbage journalism. Castro began posting cryptically about his investigation into Pool on Twitter, taunting Pool, who was ostensibly still his business partner. The fight climaxed on January 6th as Molly prepared to cover protests outside the U.S. Capitol. As Molly filmed the protest that would soon culminate into a riot, Castro in Los Angeles, and increasingly alienated from Pool, tweeted a cryptic message he now claims would prove that he was aware of some scheme of Pool's. It's difficult to discern the meaning of Castro's tweet, which consists of screenshots of IP logs and domain names. Still, the tweet set off Pool, who could apparently understand exactly what Castro meant. Rocco is posting insane shit in private details, Pool wrote in a text message to Molly. As the riot began, Pool demanded in a voicemail that Molly return to his home in Maryland immediately. You need to call me back right now, a person whose voice closely resembles Pool said in a message, which was shared with the Daily Beast. I don't know what you did, but this is beyond serious. Pool continued without naming exactly what he was angry about. I don't know what's going on other than what the F did you do? Pool said. You need to call me back right now. This one's on you. Whatever ends up happening, I had nothing to do with it. All right. Asked to explain the voicemail, Pool wrote in an email to the Daily Beast that it pertains to an internal corporate legal dispute. Much more information on this will be made public in the coming weeks, Poole told the Daily Beast. In a labor complaint filed in California, Castro alleges that Poole made irrational and angry threats and demands, demanding that Molly give him the footage Molly shot from the riot. Castro told the Daily Beast that Molly shot footage during the riot of several Poole associates, including Jones. Several Poole associates? This is all just junk to me. So, because Alex Jones was on Tim Poole's podcast, he's been on Joe Rogan's podcast, he's been on a ton of podcasts, so that makes him a Tim Poole associate. See, this is how they're trying to make him look bad. It's junk. This is garbage. We can only assume he did not want something specifically that was happening at the Capitol to be filmed by Emily that day. I don't think that's true. Castro writes in a labor complaint. Poole removed Castro and Molly's access to Scanner's YouTube channel on January 6. A day later, Poole officially fired Castro and Molly, setting off a dispute over who controls what's left of Scanner and who has equity in the company. Poole continued to ask Molly to visit his remote mansion, according to Molly. I wasn't going to his house because he was going to try to take my footage, Molly said. The growing rift between Scanner executives was bad news for Betsy the cat, who was still living in Poole's Maryland mansion. Molly says Crossland claimed to be unable to help her regain custody of her cat, providing text messages, supposedly from Crossland, that appear to show him suggesting that Poole, not he, has control over the cat's fate. I can't get involved with Betsy. You will have to run everything by Tim, Crossland allegedly wrote to Molly. She's in good hands until you take her. Yeah, what does she think they're going to do to the cat? They're not... Jesus. Crossland didn't respond to a request for comment. Molly said she was reluctant to send anyone to Poole's mansion, which looms large in the imaginations of Poole's former partners. In a recording of a 2020 meeting obtained by the Daily Beast, Poole discusses owning multiple guns and abandoning urban life after living in New York and deciding that he was getting the F out of cities after sensing the potential for unspecified escalation. So yeah, he moved out to the country, decided he liked guns, and bought a bunch. Decided to get out of the city. I did the same thing. Moved out to the woods, get away from the cities. They're making it sound like he's someone that's losing his mind, bought a bunch of guns, fled to the country because he thinks that everybody's after him. This is nuts. He's terrified of cities because he thinks Antifa is going to attack him. Well, what did they do to Cassandra Fairbanks? She said something that they didn't like, and BLM and Antifa showed up at her house with her and her daughter there, shot fireworks into her house, banging on her door. So why wouldn't he might be a little concerned that some of those pieces of garbage would be looking for him? Poole disputed Molly's characterization, saying he's not concerned about Antifa. I live in the D.C. area, the political hotspot, and I'm not worried about Antifa, Poole told the Daily Beast. Molly was reluctant to send anyone in her place to Poole's estate. Tim freaks a lot of people out, and telling people you have to go to Tim's compound in the middle of Maryland freaks people out. That's insane. I'd love to go there like that. It sounds like a wicked cool place. They seem like a really cool group of people. Oh, jeez. When Molly tried to get her cat back by sending Poole an email offering to send people to pick him up at the house anyway and pay for a veterinarian visit so the cat could be cleared to fly in an airplane, Poole referred it to his lawyer. Any correspondence must go through our attorney. Poole wrote on February 22nd. Please contact them and I will not reply to further emails. I mean, that's kind of a dick move. I would have just said, yeah, here's your cat. Here's your cat. Take it. But what's he going to do? Let it go in the woods to find its way home? She wouldn't come out there. Well, I guess, didn't she say she just, all right, sending to pick people to pick him up at the house, and well, she offered someone, but I mean, Tim probably just said, listen, I'll drive into the nearest town, I'll meet you at the Walmart in the parking lot, I'll give you the cat, go, that's it. But whatever, if there's a big rift like that, I understand him not wanting nothing to do it and have lawyers involved so no one can say he did anything wrong. I get it. I mean, shitty situation. But Wiley Stecklau, a lawyer who had been asked to untangle the fight over Scanner's future, told Molly he wasn't handling the increasingly elaborate cat exchange. To the extent of your question involves a cat or pet, I can affirmatively set forth that I'm not representing anyone regarding a cat or pet, Stecklau wrote in a February 22nd email to Molly and Castoro. Clients, like cats, come in all stripes. Steckler told the Daily Beast, I do not represent any cat as I do not have the requisite experience to represent cats. His lawyer sounds awesome. Molly eventually called the sheriff's department in Washington County, Maryland, whose jurisdiction included Poole's house. While the case wasn't a straightforward theft case, since Crossland had legally taken custody of the cat from Molly, Washington County Lieutenant Joshua McCauley tried to settle the dispute. He talked to someone who identified himself as Poole in an attempt to get the cat back. While the cat was there, communications with parties broke down because of some ongoing criminal or civil matter between them. McCauley told the Daily Beast. Mr. Poole was reluctant to have any contact because of that, so he stated that he really wanted to give the cat back. He didn't want the cat, but he didn't really know how to do it without having contact. Okay, like I said, that makes sense. He doesn't want to go see these people. He doesn't want them to send someone there. I get it. I mean, I guess maybe have Ian go drop it. I don't know. That's not my fight. The sheriff's lieutenant recommended that Poole drop the cat at an animal shelter. Good idea. Where one of Molly's friends could pick him up in an arrangement that would prevent the cat from entering the shelter's general adoption system or being put down. After a few days, the exchange took place, and one of Molly's friends flew the cat to Los Angeles. All right. Poole insisted he never had custody of the cat. That cat was never transferred to me. Emily left it with Ian, and she was talking with him. Poole wrote in an email to the Daily Beast. The sheriff asked Ian about returning the cat, and that was it. Molly's friends celebrated the cat's safe return by releasing a video under the banner The Bobo, a play on real animal news websites The Dodo. In the place of the extinct bird, the bogus site's logo featured a rat wearing Poole's trademark gray beanie. Oh, that's real cool. Oh, yeah, right there, The Bobo. All right, there's the freaking cat, Betsy. All right. So they got the cat back. What's this? The fight over Scanner remains unsolved, with the prospect of future conflict between its executives looming. On Tuesday, Castoro claimed yet again he has new proof of Poole's perfidy. It's not clear who actually owns the site. For the cat, though, the saga is over. She's happy, Molly said. All right. What in God's name? What? Oh my God. So, listen, it sounds to me like Tim never had the cat. It was Ian's whole deal. The whole thing was pretty ridiculous. And I don't know, this story went way longer than I'd hoped, but I wanted to read that whole thing. I thought it was pretty interesting. I don't know what's going on with that other company. I didn't even really know about it. Yes, that's all kind of new to me. But as you can see, the Daily Beast, just a bunch of slanderous crap in that news article saying associates that Tim Poole's were they're not his associates. They were guests on his podcast, but whatever. Anyway, crazy article. The cat's safe. So Tim, hopefully he'll get this behind him. I think it would be smart if he just focused exactly on the timcast IRL, what he's got going with the timcast.com, with the crew he's got on his podcast, everything they got planned for the mansion, and just kind of seemed like try to let that whole subverse nonsense go. I know they raised a bunch of money. I don't know how that works, but it sounds like there's a lot of bad blood between him and the other, co-owners or whatever they are. So maybe it's time to cut that loose, let that go, and focus on what you got going now. But anyway, I thought that was super interesting. And that's why Betsy's not on Timcast IRL anymore. Anyway, guys, thanks for checking me out. Leave me a thumbs up if you liked the video. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think of this madness. Anyway, till next time, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Peace.